we're going to try to get into a position where we increase the space here. Emphasis on opening this up, keep this space open here. We should feel a pretty decent amount of work going on in this glute area on the right side. My name is Greg Chaplin. I'm a physical therapist and strength and conditioning specialist. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between a left and a right lateral pelvic tilt. And in this video, I'm going to cover a basic exercise progression for a right lateral pelvic tilt. If you're looking for an exercise progression for a left lateral pelvic tilt, you can go and watch the video here popping up in the corner. So without further ado, let's get into the video. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. So just to review, what do we mean when we say lateral pelvic tilt? A lateral pelvic tilt is when the space between the crest of the hip and the lower ribs is reduced and you have this hip that's appeared to be hiked up. And this can occur on the left or the right sides, but they're not quite the same. So in our last video, when we covered the left lateral pelvic tilt, we said the musculature in the left lateral pelvic tilt is typically down this backside all the way through the level of the sacrum. Mainly on the backside of the body is that left lateral pelvic tilt. And when we look at the right lateral pelvic tilt, we begin to see somewhat of a difference in that we still have this tight position, but typically we'll have increased activity not only on the backside of the body, but also on the front and sort of the outside. So in the right lateral pelvic tilt, we'll typically see, if we wanted to say muscles, not only the back muscles, but also some of the abdominal muscles, some of the intercostal muscles. And the question of why does this happen, some thoughts about why this happens have to do with the fact that we have different organs on different sides of the body, and we have different size diaphragm on different sides of the body. We're wired a little bit different neurologically. So those are some of the reasons that have been proposed for why this happens. I don't think anyone can say with any degree of certainty that that is why, but I think from observation we can say pretty confidently that this is what we typically see. So our first plan of attack here on the right is going to be to open this side through here, through the abs and the back, this whole side and this whole rib cage. So we're going to try to get into a position where we increase the space here, and then we're going to work the leg here through both, kind of bring the leg back and bring the leg up through both directions because we do have a limitation on both sides. So we want to work in both directions to free that up. In addition, because we have this tight intercostal wall here, we want to get some expansion here through breathing and through arm positioning. So we're also going to be bringing the arm in. You lay on the left side, you're going to push that left hip down, and then you're going to try to open the space here so that this hip is being pulled towards that opposite wall. Okay? In this position, we're going to bring the elbow and knee together on an inhale. We're going to reach on an exhale, and we're trying to open this space even further as we stretch that leg away. We're going to inhale together, exhale apart. Emphasis on opening this up. That's going to pull more here towards the front and side to kind of get the abdominals releasing, and then as we come up and we flex that hip, as long as we're not hiking up too much, we're going to get a little bit of that opening in the back side. So opening that back up, and then we're opening that front up the whole time, trying to get this hip to go away, kind of reaching with that leg as we reach up this way with the arm so that we're separating this. So we're going to inhale together, exhale apart. After a couple, we should feel that the glute activates pretty good. If that's not activating, you want to make sure you get that leg going back towards the wall as best you can, not ending in front. So now after we've established just some of that opening on the table, then we're going to have to get up against gravity and start to challenge our ability to integrate this into more of an upright position. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so now we're up against gravity, and what we have to do is make sure we can still maintain somewhat of this open feeling between the crest of the hip and the lower ribs. So we can get into this half kneeling position with the right knee down. That's going to actually make that pretty easy. From this side view here, we're going to get that hip to do somewhat of shift over this front leg, not excessively so here, but just so you have a straight line between the leg and the arm. Then we can do some overhead reaching as we inhale to further open this side here. Then we're going to exhale, come back down, inhale up, exhale back down. And that's going to be pretty easy to do that with this leg down. You might feel some kind of opening in this front side. Then we can reverse that and we can actually go to the opposite with the right up, and this becomes a little more difficult here. So with the right down, this was somewhat easy to keep this space open here. Now in this case, we may have to elevate the left knee a little bit, but we're going to think about bringing this butt and dropping it down towards the ground so that the hip shifts down, and then we're going to do that same thing. Inhale, reach, trying to open here, and then exhale down. Inhale, reach, and exhale down. You could then add resistance to this position, doing those same things, thinking about keeping the space open, and simply doing some presses. So that might look like this. So we'd hold here. We're going to maintain this space open. We'll inhale, exhale as we press, inhale back, exhale, press. We could then reverse that and do that on the opposite side. Again, we might have to elevate that left knee. We're going to pull down this hip, inhale, exhale. We could also switch arms to reverse that first move and do the exact opposite. It's going to be a little bit harder to maintain this in that open position with the left arm reach. So we're going to inhale and then exhale. One additional thing to think about, you're going to try to keep that foot flat to the ground so you feel both balls of your feet on the inside and outside, as well as the heel. So you have those 3 points of contact, heel, first and last toe. You're going to keep that space. Inhale, exhale, reach. Inhale back, exhale, reach. So that about covers when the leg is actually down, fixed to the ground. Now we have to cover when that leg starts to swing, because we have those 2 phases of gait when we're both standing and when we're swinging the leg. So for this, we can go to the wall. We can hold the wall. Now we're going to try to keep this space open once again, dropping this hip to the ground, keeping that nice and open there. We're going to inhale as we lift our right knee up. And what we don't want to do is hike up as we lift. So if you can't lift all the way up without hiking, just go a little bit. We're going to inhale up, then exhale to return. Inhale up, exhale to return. So it's going to look like this from the side. We're going to be open here. We're inhaling up, and we're not cheating. And we're going to exhale, staying open through there. Now, once we've got that half kneeling down and we've got the standing supported position, we can actually start to work this leg in more of a squat type variation. So to do this, we're going to get a little bit of a block. We're going to put this right foot on the block with the knee a little bit bent to start. This is going to give us an appreciation for our left side being lower than our right. This is naturally going to be more hiked in this position. Without moving anything here on the right so much, we're going to pull this left leg up so the left hip comes above the right hip. From that position, we're going to maintain everything else nice and still except for the right ankle, knee, and hip. We're going to bend to touch, but we're only moving through the ankle, knee, and hip of that right side. This left hip stays hiked up so that the pelvis is at least level, if not left slightly higher than right. We're going to do a series of repetitions there. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. We should feel a pretty decent amount of work going on in this glute area on the right side, making sure to maintain this open. Then we're going to switch over to the other side, and we're actually going to work that left side, training that to work as this stays open. So in this case, the right foot's going to be lower than the left. We're going to maintain that relationship so that this right hip is either at the level or slightly lower than the left. We're going to push up through this left side. Inhale, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up. We're going to keep our weight shifted over this left side, and we're going to keep that relationship of right lower than left. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Now from there, we can progress to variations such as split squats in the gym, because that's going to give us kind of both phases, working both opening the front and the back side of the body. In the initial stages, you're not going to load those too aggressively. You're going to work more on range, depth, and control. And then over time, you can progress the load with those so that you're not creating additional bracing that's going to limit that motion. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Hopefully that cleared up the difference between a right and a left lateral pelvic tilt. Let me know if you're able to utilize that, if that's something that you're trying to work on, and if you have any additional questions or you want me to cover certain topics, leave that below in the comments, and I'll be sure to do that in an upcoming video. So until next time, thanks a lot for watching. Peace.